financing. We've got everything you need under one roof. Real estate, title services, mortgages, and insurance. One team, one trusted name, one-stop shopping for all your real estate needs. Weicker Realtors in Washington Township, the bright choice.
Unmute. Then go to full cam. If you want to say hey everybody, go ahead.
Hello. We're testing. We're going to obviously be live. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. You saw the radar out there to the west. Some of the thunderstorms flaring up. We have a severe thunderstorm watch that was issued by the National Weather Service. It's for the counties that you see highlighted there in orange. And if you look at the areas that are shaded in bright yellow, that's where we have severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect right now. So at the moment, this is pretty much the Harrisburg television market that's getting hit. All of this is going to be shifting east. What we're doing right now, me and my buddy Drew in northern Alabama, we're kind of getting everything set for when we do go live. Once this gets closer to the Philadelphia television market, then I'll start going live for good. But right now, you're going to see me just kind of, and I apologize, I hope I'm not taking an image away from you here or there, but we're trying to get everything. I switched over to a new computer, so we're trying to get everything in line so that when I do go live, there's no hiccups and everything is the way that we want it. So I just wanted to quickly let you guys know what's going on. But again, as all of this gets closer, once the warnings start popping in the Philadelphia area, then then we're gonna go live for good. Okay. Otherwise, stay cool out there. It's blistering hot again. Awful.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Forecasting the weather takes preparation. So does buying a home. Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chris Sowers, and welcome to Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the power of yellow. Come join us and experience the full service advantage of our yellow team. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing, we've got everything you need under one roof. Real estate, title services, mortgages, and insurance. One team, one trusted name, one-stop shopping for all your real estate needs. Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the bright choice.
And then when you click it, see now you're.
Hello everyone, meteorologist Chris Sowers here. You know, people come up to me all the time and they ask me, who do you trust to do work on your home? Well, for me, the answer is simple. It's Bobby and Tim at Realistic Exterior. They've earned a reputation for quality roofing and siding across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware by doing the job right and standing by the work that they do. Just take a look at all of their 5-star reviews. That right there pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Try their free AI roof estimate tool. It'll give you a ballpark estimate before you even schedule an appointment, so you'll know what to expect. Now, I have to tell you something about this Bobby. He's just one of those guys you don't forget. Visit realisticexterior.com and watch his videos. You'll laugh, you'll see his personality, his passion, and you'll understand why homeowners trust him and his team. For quality craftsmanship, honest service, and a contractor that you can count on, call Realistic Exterior. The weather can be unpredictable at times, but your contractor shouldn't be. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Chris Sowers here. I've got a couple of things that I'm learning how to do. Got a brand new computer system set in. We've been working on this all day, actually the last couple of days. So this is part of how I'm going to be able to start doing Facebook Lives, live on YouTube, live on my website. It's all going to be run in this fashion now, a little more advanced, I guess you could say, as opposed to me just holding the camera, looking at specific graphics and things like that. Okay, we've got some weather to talk about. Let's go right over to the radar here. Severe thunderstorm watch was issued by the National Weather Service. That watch is in effect until, let's see what we have here. Looks like 9 o'clock. So honestly, it looks as if it almost looks as if things are getting going just a little bit earlier than they were supposed to, according to some of the high-resolution forecast data. And, honestly, that might not be a bad thing. And the reason why is because this is a big night, right, for Chase Utley and the Philadelphia Phillies. So, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If we can get this mess out of here prior, right, then the game might be just fine. Maybe we don't have a delay. So I'm actually quite okay with, all of this taking shape now. But we do have some pretty big thunderstorms out there to the west right now. You can see the shades of, bright shade of yellow, okay? Those are severe thunderstorm warnings that were issued by the National Weather Service. We had one that was issued by the office there in State College. It looks like that one has just expired. It has now been replaced with a flash flood warning, that dark shade of green out by Ephrata and Lancaster. And then if you look towards the top of your screen, I still have that severe thunderstorm warning toggled on. That one is up until 4. It's for a large part of Berks County, the northern half. Kutztown's in it. Hamburg's in it. Looks like Fleetwood is in it. Portions of 202. And the concern here is for 60-mile-an-hour winds and hail. There's some pretty good hail being reported as well. So, that's one of the storms that we're watching, okay? And as we expand the view here, let me go a little bit wider. It looks like everything is kind of moving from, it almost appears as if it's moving from a southwest to northeast fashion. You see that? Okay, everything kind of moving along just like that. But that's it. Those are the only real, we do we have that one severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go up in there. That's on the very tip of the viewing area. That's the corner there, Northampton County, out there by Bangor. So we're way north of Easton. We're way north of Nazareth and Bethlehem and Allentown. This is the extreme northeast tip. That's a nasty looking cell. Look at the colors there. You probably got some pretty good hail. Looks like they just expanded the warning now. Let's go up to this one. So this is the Poconos, 60-mile-an-hour winds for this one. And then this one here, inch in diameter hail being reported in that one. So these are two big storms here moving up towards the Poconos. This right here, all right, just so you get an idea where we are, out towards Blairstown. That is Warren County in northern New Jersey. Up and through here is Sussex. And then you get out and through here, this is the Pocono Mountains, okay, just to give you an idea where we are. So you got some pretty big thunderstorms that are popping in these areas. All right, right now it looks like huge downpours is indicated. What you're looking at here, this is reflectivity mode and reflectivity mode only. That's it, okay? What reflectivity mode does, it tells you how heavy the precipitation is coming down. A lot of times it's just strictly measuring the rain, okay? But sometimes it can give you clues as to whether or not we're getting hail in this storm too. And you see that right here, all right? I'm going to hit the stop loop right, hold on. right there. All right, when you start getting these colors here, all right, see this on the scale right here? Right there? When you start getting up and through here on the legend there, that's when there's a good indication of hail falling. Okay, so that's what we're seeing right now with that one particular cell lifting north out of the Bangor area. That was a big, big downpour for them, moving right over. It looks like it was north of Ackermanville, and now it's pushing over the state line as I speak here, right on Interstate 80, right out of Stroudsburg, Interstate 80 heading into New Jersey. Looks like you guys are going to get pummeled within the next 20 minutes or so. As is the case with all severe thunderstorm warnings. Remember, it's a little different than a tornado warning. A tornado warning, you got to run to the basement or the center part of your house. We'll get into that in a moment. You don't have to do anything like that with the severe thunderstorm warning. With a severe thunderstorm warning, the main idea is to just get inside. Take cover. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to stay away from windows and stay off of electrical appliances, and then you just ride the storm out, okay? That's really all you have to do for a severe thunderstorm warning. So you head inside, stay off of electrical appliances, and stay away from windows, and you're fine, okay? Things that you're trying to avoid, obviously lightning, okay? You want to avoid the windows because if you got 60-mile-an-hour winds and those winds are picking up whatever it is loose outside, then it's going to toss it, right? And if it tosses it into the window and the window shatters and you're next to it, then you're going to get all cut up. So that's why we advise everybody to stay away from windows. So we got these big, big storms out here. All right, just to kind of give you an idea how far away we actually are from Philadelphia. All right, so there's Philly right there. All right, lower left. Let's see. There's my tool. These storms are roughly 60 miles northwest. See that? Roughly 60 miles northwest of the city of Philadelphia. So it's a decent drive, okay? So we still have time in Philadelphia and Quakertown and Warminster Township, Norristown, Phoenixtown, Coatesville, Westchester, all of those areas, Souderton. There's still plenty of time to do what you have to do, but I do want to stress that time is starting to wind down now that we've got the eruption of these thunderstorms out here to the west. But as of now, it's roughly 60 or 55 miles to the northwest of the area. All right, so what I'm going to try and do here is, I guess what I'm going to try and do is answer some questions right now as I kind of set the stage as to what's going on here. Almost every one of these is warned. And what's interesting here is usually, you know, not to get on their case or anything, but the National Weather Service in Mount Holly a lot of times has a pretty active trigger finger. A lot of these warnings were actually by the State College National Weather Service. They don't pop warnings quite as frequently as the office in Mount Holly does. So if they're popping a lot of warnings, you know that these are storms that you don't want to mess with. You know that these are strong storms. And you can see, again, we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got five severe thunderstorm warnings in effect at the moment. This one from York, okay, northeastward into Lancaster. And then we have another one here for northern Berks County. And then we have another one for northeastern portions of Schuylkill County. And then we have another one here for the extreme northeast tip of, oh my gosh, Northampton County. Geez, I just had a brain freeze there. And heading into extreme western Warren County. And then we have another one in portions of Monroe County. Those are the 5 severe thunderstorm warnings. The primary threat on every single one of these, okay? Strong straight line winds, 60 miles per hour. All right, that's what we're seeing with some of these at the moment. All right, so that's what's going on. Otherwise, it's incredibly hot and humid again. We've had heat index numbers way over 100 degrees in parts of the area. Actually, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this inside and not outside, because I actually tried to, it's a shame you can't see what, but I've got everything like almost like a pilot here. I've got computer, cell phones right here. I mean, I've got everything in front of me, and I actually was hooking all of this up outside, and then a couple of things happened. One, it was incredibly hot, and I'm not even kidding, within like 5 minutes, I was sweating. I could feel the sweat dripping down my back, and I'm looking at the radar, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, there's a chance that I'm going to end up being live here for like an hour, maybe 2. If I'm already sweating after 5 minutes, I can only imagine what it's going to be like after, 1 or 2 hours. I'm probably going to lose 10 pounds, and I didn't want to do that. So I set up in here. The other issue that I was having, too, was it's just too darn sunny, and I was picking up too much glare. Even under the umbrella, I was picking up too much glare. All right, so here's a look at the, this is the SPC categorical. This is what they had put on this morning. Now, remember, we had talked about this for a couple of days. I was surprised that they hadn't issued a level 1. They did yesterday. And then a couple of days ago, I mentioned that they're likely going to issue a level 2, and they did. And as we go over to the radar, right there, that's exactly that area, okay? So we go here, look where they have the yellow, and then look where we're having the explosion of thunderstorms. See it? That's the yellow. There it is. I mean, they've nailed this to a T. That's exactly where we're picking up the heaviest weather. So right now, the areas that are in this, it's a level 2. All right, the scale goes from 1 to 5. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, the higher you get, the worse the storms are projected to be. A level 1 is isolated. That's the dark shade of green. That area includes almost all of New Jersey, except for areas closest to the Delaware River, and it also includes a large part of the state of Delaware. Everybody else is in that level 2. That's the yellow shade. The yellow shaded areas represent where we're expecting something a little more organized, which is what we're seeing right here. Notice the linear segments, the line segments, not just these little cells popping, these really tiny cells here or there. We're getting line segments. And when you see that, that's usually an indication that strong straight line winds are starting to develop. Okay, and that is why they issue that yellow right there, okay, because they're expecting more organization to these thunderstorms and not just something popping here and something popping there and something popping here. That's why they pop the yellow. Now, if they were expecting even more of an organized round of thunderstorms, like huge bowing segments, hook echoes, the whole 9 yards, then what they would have done is they would have upped this to a level 3, and you would have seen a shade of orange, a big polygon of orange somewhere. That's called the level 3 enhanced. So again, as you're climbing the ladder here, the thunderstorms are anticipated to get worse and worse and worse. All right, let's go right back over to the radar. Again, if you're just now tuning in, we're streaming live. We're going to talk about this area of thunderstorms that is starting to push closer to the city of Philadelphia. Phillies game starts at 6:40. Remember, they're honoring Chase Utley. How can you forget that, right? They're honoring Chase Utley. He's now going to be a part of the, what is it called, Wall of Fame. And that's long overdue. Good to see him. He was part of that wonderful team with, all the, my gosh, the talent that, I'm trying to think of all the guys that we had. I mean, obviously we had Ryan Howard, we had Jimmy Rollins, we had Chooch, Chase Utley. I mean, that team was loaded. Was it Brad Lidge that was on the mound when we won the World Series? So, I mean, this is long overdue. It's good to see him get in. We just need the weather to cooperate. Earlier this morning, we had talked about the possibility of this potentially moving in to ruin the game. Well, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon. This has organized a lot quicker in the day than what the modeling had been suggesting for the last couple of days. So what I'm starting to wonder, up right there in front of your eyes, it looks like they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is up for the entire Lehigh Valley. I'll get to that in a second. But getting back to the point I was trying to make, now that this is developing so quick in the day, I'm wondering if this is going to get out of here just as fast. And maybe we do get the entire game in without a single delay. That would be great, right? Then we wouldn't have to worry about our starting pitchers sitting on the bench and cooling off. And now you got to put the the relief pitchers in and everything. Maybe we can actually get an entire game in here. We'll see. All right. So there was the warning that was just issued by the National Weather Service. We're going to go up here to the north. This is where all the action is right now. You can see that cell by Ephrata down in the lower left corner. We'll get to that in a moment. But all the warnings that are in effect right now, you can see them up here across the northern part of the viewing area. It is the entire Lehigh Valley now. And what they're saying here is every single one of these warnings. So you have this one, you have this one, all right, you have this one, and you have this one. Every single one of these is for winds up to 60 miles per hour and the possibility of hail up to 1 inch in diameter. Those are the main threats. When we flip it over to velocity, I don't see much here in terms of rotation. I do see a little bit like up towards Lehighton, all right? So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll actually circle it for you. Okay, you can see up and through here, we got a little bit of rotation there. It is weak, extremely weak, and at least at the moment, I would say it's absolutely nothing to be worried about. But given the environment that we're in right now, the tremendous instability, we'll have to keep our eye on that. We'll see what happens here. But anyway, so there's a look at all of the warnings and the thunderstorms pushing through. And one of the other things that I'm starting to notice too is you got more linear segments down here, but this is just a big blob of red, orange, and yellow. That is a lot of heavy rain with some lightning strikes. Remember how juicy the atmosphere is right now, okay? We were talking about this for days too. I mean, when you've got the kind of humidity in place right now that we've been dealing with for a couple days, we were talking about, I mean, if you think about this for a second, all right, we were dealing with dew points. I had never seen a dew point as high as I saw yesterday morning in Fortescue in the Delaware Bay area. There was a couple of 84s that were showing up. I didn't even see an 84 when I was working in the West Palm Beach television market. I didn't even see an 84 there. That's Florida. So in order to get an 84 here in the Philadelphia area it's mind-boggling. It's insane. It doesn't happen. But that shows you how tropical the air mass is right now, and it shows you how moisture loaded everything is right now. And that means any thunderstorm that develops is going to have the ability to just produce massive amounts of rain. All right, and that's another thing that the National Weather Service has been advising over the last couple of days. When you get a downpour, there's the possibility that you could get flash flooding because there's so much energy and moisture in the air to tap into, to draw down to the surface. All right, so we're in reflectivity mode. Again, all the big box. Now, I have the radar set to 5-panel mode. If you're a weather geek like me, all right, what this is, you have your super resolution velocity in the upper right corner. Going down, you have the correlation coefficient. Both of those are used to track rotation in tornadoes, all right? A step underneath that, you have the differential reflectivity, and then underneath that, you have rain totals. The big box on the left, that's pretty much taking up the entire screen, that is reflectivity mode. All you use reflectivity mode for is how heavy the rain is. That's it, okay? And sometimes it can give clues as to whether or not we are seeing destructive winds. If you start seeing like a Boeing segment, or if you see a hook echo on reflectivity mode, that's usually an indication you've got a tornado. So, but overall, when you're looking at reflectivity mode, you're tracking how heavy the rain is. When you start seeing the purples, all right, the reds, that is an extremely heavy downpour, and we've got a lot of that right now in the Lehigh Valley. As I'm talking here, or I'm reading some of the comments, and Charlene says, she's tuning in on Facebook, she says, you brought the humidity home with you. I know. Well, wait a minute, though. Hold on. I've been here since, what, the end of May? So did I actually, I mean, just think about it. It hasn't been too bad since I've been here. I mean, we had that one really hot spell, right, in July where we had 3 straight days over 100, heat index between 110 and 120. Outside of that, though, prior to the last couple of days, it hadn't been bad this summer. My brother was just saying to me the other day that he felt that it had been a pretty, not chilly, but cool summer. And I told him, I said, well, believe it or not, we had already hit 90 degrees, like I think 28 times when he had said that to me. And I was like, actually, Gar. But I guess he was expecting, something a little hotter. Donna says, I read that ice cream really doesn't cool us off. It actually increases the metabolism. More heat. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's any truth to any of that, but I do know it makes me feel better when I'm eating ice cream. Cheryl says she loves this heat. Please bring on the burr months. Yes, Cheryl, that is the comment of the day right there. If I could, I would post that in front of everybody and let everyone see that I agree with you 100%. Burr months are right around the corner. I mean, we're in August 7th now. So, geez, September's right around the corner. And you know what else is right around? You know what else is right around the corner? Football. Back to Sundays. Although I got to tell you, my buddy Ray and I worked with him at Channel 6, one of my former producers. We go back and forth every Sunday, all football Sunday. I mean, we're back and forth. He's mentioning this, I'm mentioning that game. I mean, all Sunday we'll just go back and forth. And one of the things, a topic of conversation that we were going through was I forget what he had brought up, but I had mentioned that the NFL is starting, and at least in my opinion, is starting to get a little watered down now. I think that and I didn't just, what I'm about to say, I didn't just come up with this on my own. Someone I think it was on the NFL, someone had said this. And so that's what actually brought this whole thing to my mind. And I was like, man, this guy's got a great point. But what he had said, and I apologize, I can't remember where I'm getting this from, what source. But he had said that they've got football on too many days during the week now, and it's watering down the product. It used to be Monday Night Football, Sunday football. And then on Thanksgiving, you had Thursday football. Now you've got Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football every Thursday. You've got Sunday, 1 and 4 p.m. games, and then, of course, the 8 o'clock games. And now you've got football games this year that are going to be on Saturdays and Fridays, and they've actually been doing the Christmas football games. And it's almost like it kind of takes away from, think about it. I mean, think about the weeks, of Thanksgiving week and, Christmas week, where you have football games on. For example, I think Christmas is on a Friday, and I think there's actually football games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that week. So now, plus you already had a Monday night game. So that means that particular week you have 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, that whole week, just 2 days where you don't have a football game. And it kind of, I understood the point the guy was trying to make. When Sunday comes, you're like, okay, well, Kansas City Chiefs aren't playing, the Eagles already played, Dallas played, the Detroit Lions played. You know what I mean? It's kind of like all the Seattle Seahawks played, San Francisco 49ers and the Rams played. Well, who do you got left by the time Sunday gets there? You know what I mean? It's kind of like I've already seen all these games already. So I kind of understood the point, and I'm getting way off topic here. Let's get back to the radar. But it was just, it was interesting because I heard what he said, and I agreed with him. I was like, wow, this is actually a really good point. All right, we do have this one little cell here that's popping up just west of Philadelphia. If you're in Philadelphia, you're listening to me right now in Center City, skies are probably getting pretty dark to the west. Norristown, this is just south of you. It's just a little blip on the radar at the moment, okay? So it's probably a quick-hitting downpour. Maybe it lasts 5 minutes or so. But the rain's probably coming down pretty good, and you're probably getting big, fat raindrops there. All right, we'll see whether it's crossing right over the Schuylkill now as I speak. We'll see whether or not this thing further strengthens. It's actually right where the Schuylkill merges into the Pennsylvania Turnpike there. All right, let's go back out here to the west. Severe thunderstorm warning again for, it looks like, York County, east of Interstate 83, heading into southwestern Lancaster County. So Lancaster itself is in the warning. Columbia is in the warning. Red Lion is in the warning. All right, Washington Borough, Millersville University, you are in this warning. And right now, the primary threat here is for strong straight-line winds and hail. All right, we've got the possibility of hail up to 1 inch in diameter out here. All right, so we got some pretty good thunderstorms out here to the west. All right, bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So what I'm doing here, I'm a one-man band, all right? So I'm operating on this computer on my right, the computer that you're listening to me on right now, and my text messages. I don't have Rob sitting with me today. Rob, where are you, buddy? If you're listening to me, where are you? Actually, I think he's on his way back to Florida. He's in the Fort Myers area. I don't know if you guys tuned in, but back in June, we did a live segment, me and Rob, and he was live from his place, and you ought to see the view. His view is the ocean. So he's on I want to say the 7th or the 8th floor, and he was on the balcony, and I was like, oh man, this guy's just rubbing it in. The view was incredible. So I think he's back. He's heading back to Florida right now. But there it is. That's what we're watching at the present time. Let's I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's go back over to this stuff right here. Okay, so what's going to be interesting here is, I want to flip it over real quick. Again, all of this came in a lot quicker than, what we were originally thinking. So, 9, 10, All right, that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and look at that. So just to kind of give you an idea of what the modeling is doing versus what we're seeing right now, this is what the modeling was suggesting the radar would look like at 2 o'clock. There's 3. There's 4. Okay? So, you know what? Let's tighten this up so you guys see it better. Okay? That's what the radar, that's what the model said the radar would look like at 4 o'clock today. All right? This is what the radar looks like right now. Holy smokes. Let me see if I can go apples for apples comparison here. All right? Okay. So this right here is what the model said the radar would look like at 4 p.m. And this is what the radar looks like right now. Yeah, that wasn't a very good run by the CAMS data. By the way, if you ever hear me use the phrase CAMS, it's convection allowing models. They're very high resolution forecast models. They're 3K. And obviously the tighter, you know what, here's what I can do. Because I have a camera here, I can do this. I can visually show you. So you have high resolution models, all right, and you have longer range. They're called global models. And so let me give you an idea. Okay? You might have, say this is the can you see that? You see the circles there? Let's say this is the Philadelphia area, and the modeling has these points, okay? It's got to fill in the gaps, okay? So let's say this is how many points you'll see in the Philadelphia area for a global model. Remember, you're filling in the gaps. You're estimating. The model's estimating in all that space, okay? The model's got to estimate what it thinks is going to happen. When you have a high-res model, now all of a sudden it looks like this. You see what's going on here? You have less of an area. So now you have boom, 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 and you have less of an area to try and fill in the gaps. So the high-resolution stuff is what you want to go to when you're looking at weather like this, all right? When you're trying to hone in on, okay, where's the roughest weather going to be? Where's the heaviest snow going to fall? When you start getting in tight like that, like you're not, for example, if I was forecasting for the entire Mid-Atlantic or the Northeast, then I would flip it over to the European or the GFS. But when you're in tight like this, and it's a small area like the Philadelphia area, and I know it's a big city, but it's a small location when you talk about the overall size of the United States. You flip it over to the high-res stuff because you have less room for error because there's more data points and everything, all right, grid points. That's why it's, 3 kilometer versus the European and the GFS, which I believe, I want to say 10, 12K? I forget what it is, but you have a much better chance, a more accurate depiction using the high-res stuff than you do the global stuff when we're talking about events like this, okay? So that's the benefit there. But anyway, the point that I was trying to make was that's what the high-res stuff, CAMS data said the radar was going to look like, and this is what it looks like. So even the high-res stuff struggles at times. Okay. All right, let's see. Got a couple questions here. No. All right, so Nicole was asking, is there a chance of a tornado watch or warning? Not a watch, all right, because they already went with the severe thunderstorm watch. So I think now remember, okay, the chain of command, if you will, I guess that's the best way to put it. The chain of command goes from Storm Prediction Center coordinates with the National Weather Service offices. So let's say the Storm Prediction Center is based in Norman, Oklahoma. Let's say they think that the Philadelphia area and the Harrisburg television market, Baltimore, D.C., let's say they think that area is going to be the jackpot today. That's going to be the area that sees the worst weather. What they will do is they will be in contact with the National Weather Service offices in State College, Mount Holly, I don't know where the one in Baltimore and D.C. is located, but the SPC, Storm Prediction Center, will be in constant communication with those offices, all right? And then it informs them, they discuss whether or not they want to go severe thunderstorm watch, tornado watch, okay? And that's what they do. Once they hand that over, and once the National Weather Service goes with whatever watch they want to go with, then the warnings get issued by the National Weather Service offices only. Storm Prediction Center doesn't issue a severe thunderstorm watch. I don't issue a severe thunderstorm watch. So if you get a severe thunderstorm watch over your house and nothing happens, remember, that's not me issuing that. Nobody issues warnings. Nobody except for the National Weather Service offices. That's it. All right, that's the chain of command. So the watches, all right, come from the Storm Prediction Center. The data is kind of they're in constant communication with the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service then goes with whatever watch they want to go with, and all warnings come from the National Weather Service offices. Okay. Let me see what other questions we have. Anything change? Yvonne, I'm not sure what you're saying here. Anything change for the no rain in Atco, New Jersey tomorrow? Are you asking me if it's going to rain tomorrow in Atco between 1 and 6? If that's what you're asking me, the chances are slim. But listen, I'm going to tell you right now, after 6, it's game on, and I think there's going to be a large area that sees quite a bit of rain and thunderstorms out of it. Donna says, you do such a great job, Chris. So knowledgeable. Thanks for getting me through the day. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you for the kind words. Maureen says, they aren't answering texts, so I figure they are getting hit in Honesdale. What county is that? What county is that in Honesdale? Okay. Right now, we're just watching. We are just watching. And again, I am indoors because I am not crazy enough to be outdoors trying to figure out how to breathe in that stuff. Although it's funny because, so when I did my Live from the Sowers Dungeon segment this morning, I was outside. And it felt I don't say outstanding. That's a bad word to use. How about it felt a lot better? All right, I thought it felt a lot better this morning than it did yesterday morning. And the funny thing is, the dew points were still in the upper 70s this morning, okay? So that tells you how awful Thursday morning really was. Like I said earlier, we had some areas with dew points in the low to mid 80s, which is insane for anywhere this far north, okay? That kind of tropical humidity is what fuels hurricanes. That's why you get them all the time down there, because think about it, okay? Water vapor is your number one greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. Water vapor. It's not CO2, it's not SO2, it's none of that stuff. It's water vapor. Water vapor traps heat. So the hotter the oceans get, okay, the more water vapor that's being put into the atmosphere, the warmer everything overall gets. That's why it's always so doggone warm down there, even during the winter months, because your ocean temperatures here, for example, in January might be in the 30s. There, it's in the 70s. I know, I lived there for 2 years, just moved back. So it's always warmer down there because everything is naturally warmer. You're closer to the equator. The rays of the sun are always stronger. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is. Water temperatures are always warmer, all right? But again, the warmer the ocean temperatures are, the more water vapor you're flooding the atmosphere with, okay? And so when you get this ridiculous dew point, all right, you're flooding the atmosphere with water vapor. That's how much water vapor is in the air. And temperatures can't drop. When you have such high dew point, that's why the overnight lows didn't drop much last night, because your whole atmospheric environment is full of water. It's full of water vapor. And so the temperatures can't drop. I'll give you an example. I used to, you know what, let me show you. Actually, let me see if I can pop this for you. All right. Let's go back over to this camera real quick. Now, we just loaded this up. I just was fixing everything, so I don't know if all of this is going to show exactly the way that I want it, but let me see if I can bring up this point. Let's go to, all right. I'm going to go to PBI, Palm Beach, okay, International. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is an area right now that is, oh my gosh, these numbers are brutal down here. But look, what I'm trying to point out is, look at the first 2 days. Look at August 7th, the very first bar you see on the left. Look at the high, 89. Look at the low, 78. That's an 11-degree spread. That's it, okay? Now, let me go to SLK, which is the Lake Placid area. Look at the difference. You go from, look at the, let's go into, it's muggy right now everywhere, okay? So you're not seeing much difference. But look what happens Sunday, August 16th, right in the middle there. Do you see that? I'll let you guys find it. It's in the middle, Sunday, August 16th. You go from a high of 75 to a low of 54. So we go from an 11-degree spread on Friday, August 7th to a 21-degree spread on the 16th. You know why you have so much more of a spread? Because you have no humidity. You have no moisture in the air. The air is bone dry at that point, and that allows the temperatures to drop. So the muggier it gets, it prevents the temperatures from dropping. And the point of all of this is, so if the temperatures don't drop at night, then you have a higher starting point the next day, a higher launching pad, and now the temperatures the next day get hotter, and so on and so forth. It's a repetitive, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse until we can get a cold front, okay? And so that's kind of how it all works. When you start seeing greater separation between the highs and the lows, then you know there's no humidity in the air anymore, okay? When you see, oh, wow, look at the outflow boundary, guys. Do you see this? You see this outflow boundary? Wow, look at that. Big, big winds here. See this? All right, that's a sign that these storms right in here were producing huge winds. You can clearly see this line. All right? Clearly. Those warnings were definitely warranted. All right? If you're getting a boundary looking like that. Severe thunderstorm warning northwest of Frederick. We're in Maryland right now. You still have the flash flood warnings here in York and Lancaster counties. Okay? All right, let me answer a couple more questions, and I'm going to take a quick break because this is, there's still quite some time before it gets to Philly. All right, let's see what we got here. My birthday, August 14th, looks promising. Yes, it did look better by then, I'm hoping. Think I'll order food tonight. No cooking inside. Was just about to point it out to you. Running southeast. Yeah, that's a pretty neat looking little, it's called a boundary, an outflow boundary. Another way to think of an outflow boundary is, Adrian says, how about the game tonight? Well, I already kind of talked about that, but if you're just tuning in, so the thunderstorms flared up way before the modeling had suggested they would. So the fact that we're already getting pummeled in parts of the area now everything is moving southwest and northeast, but the fact that we're getting hit already might be a good thing, because what may end up happening here is the bulk of this may be out of here by the time we get to 7 o'clock. And if that's the case, maybe, and I'm just, who knows, right? Only the good Lord above knows what's going to happen here. But, given everything has started a couple hours early, maybe it gets out of here a couple hours earlier. At the worst case scenario, maybe, the start of the game, maybe it's not 6:40, maybe it's 7:30 or something like that. You know what I mean? What happened? Well, you got to come here and say hi to everybody first. If you say hi to everybody, I will cook you dinner. Come on, everybody wants to see you, Paige. Nope, no dinner. No dinner. All right. Now, I want you to repeat after your daddy. Hello. Meteorologist Chris Sowers here. Go ahead. No, you being shy today? All right, what do you want for dinner?
Tube pasta.
You want tube pasta? So tube pasta is rigatoni. And what we found was, here's another thing, ready? All right. And I don't eat pasta very often, right? Well, now that Paige's on this pasta kick, so now she has it all the time. But what we found, let's say, you're going to laugh. You see this? Okay? Let's say that is the normal size of a rigatoni. We found these mini rigatonis, all right, at the grocery store. And they taste better. They really do. I'm not kidding. They taste better. I forget. Let me get the box. All right. All right. So I order these. I order. No, wait. I gotta show everybody. I order this pasta straight from Italy. They actually deliver it to me from Italy, don't they, Paige? They ship it straight from Italy. But anyway, see, it's the smaller ones. They're really, really tiny, and they taste better.
They're the mini flavors.
They're the what?
Mini flavors.
And what are they called? They're called mezzi rigatoni. Can you say that? Mezzi rigatoni.
No, they're called tube pasta.
Tube pasta? And you like tube pasta, huh? And what do you want for dessert after we have the tube pasta?
I'm still trying. I don't really know yet.
You don't really know yet. Okay, so you're allowed to sit on Daddy's lap. All right. So you're allowed to have 3 candies today. What are the candies that you've already had? You had a vanilla cookie.
And a chocolate chip cookie.
And a chocolate chip cookie. Okay, so that means you get one more candy. Say hi, everybody. All right, what's the other candy? What do you want from dessert? What do you want for dessert after we have the tube pasta?
I'll figure that out when I'm eating dinner.
Okay. All right, go watch your TV. I'll be there in a minute. She is getting big, Sheila. She's getting really big. I was just looking at pictures from our first year down in Florida, which was not that long ago. And when you compare what she looked like then to what she looks like now, I'm like, oh my gosh, slow down, please. Okay, now, what are you doing? So this is Dominic the donkey, the Christmas donkey.
This is Sky.
That's Sky. Now, what Sky is part of what? Paw Patrol?
Mm-hmm.
What does Sky do? What's her? She
Flies.
flies. What? She have a helicopter?
Yes.
Now, tell everybody, what else do you watch? Paw Patrol and what?
Super Kitty.
Super Kitties.
And PJ Masks is the best.
PJ Masks.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have. Come here. Come here. So now we have PJ Masks. We have Super Kitties, and we have.
Blippi.
Okay, we have Blippi. We have PJ Masks, Super Kitties, and Paw Patrol. Those are the 4, right?
And Miss Rachel.
And Miss Rachel. Do you still watch Miss Rachel? By the way, real quick, let's zoom in on this one. This one's getting pretty nasty, huh? Near Upper Providence. So, yeah. Let's keep an eye on that for a few minutes before I tune out. It's just such an incredibly humid environment right now. There's so much. If you remember, if you tune into my live from the Sowers Dungeon segments, which please do, if you haven't already done so, please do. 7:30 in the morning, 7:30 in the evening. Okay, what I do is not only do I give everybody the forecast, I try to teach a little bit and have some fun all at the same time.
This is Sky's helicopter.
That's Sky's helicopter? So show everybody Sky again.
It's her helicopter.
Helicopter goes there. Here, I'll hold the helicopter. What does she do?
The helicopter is pink, gray, black, and white.
Right. Okay, and now she flies in it, right? Go ahead, put her in. Put her in.
And Sky is pink, green, black, and
What color dress are you wearing?
pink.
Pink? You're so pretty. Okay, put it in there. Is it in there? Now show everybody what you're going to do, and you're going to fly away, right? Okay. Okay. All right, go in the living room. Daddy will be there in 5 minutes, okay?
I'm staying.
Oh, now you're staying. First you didn't want to be on camera. Now you're staying, huh? All right, fine. What do you see? Let's do it. Let's do this, Paige. Tube pasta. Okay, tube pasta it is. You know what, guys? I just want to kind of log off for a little bit here because I'll come back on. If this thing really starts flaring up, which it actually looks like it's starting to do. But the problem is I forget how to log off. So all of this is new, and I forget what I'm doing. So, all right, if I remember this, okay. Okay, I got to turn the mic off first. So, say bye, Paige. Okay, I'm going to hop back on probably in about 20 minutes, okay? So, I'll turn the mic off first. Forecasting the weather takes preparation. So does buying a home. Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chris Sowers, and welcome to Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the power of yellow. Come join us and experience the full service advantage of our yellow team. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing, we've got everything you need under one roof. Real estate, title services, mortgages, and insurance. One team, one trusted name, one-stop shopping for all your real estate needs. Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the bright choice. All right. Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Chris Sowers here. By the way, two pasta. Okay. We're live. We're going to do a couple of updates here over the next couple of hours here because of the severe weather pushing through. By the way, if you're a business, you're a company, and you're looking to do some of those commercial segments that you just saw there, this is the group right here. This one, Cadence Media Group. They take care of all my video production stuff. They're located in Pittman, New Jersey. Give them a call. Okay, what's that, honey? How you guys doing? So we are going to take a look at some of the cells that are starting to pop out to the west again. Yes, honey. Hold on, I can't. I'm live right now. So we're going to take a look at some of the cells that are out here to the west. Now, these things really got rolling. They really got rolling about an hour ago, and they don't look as impressive as I can't talk. They don't look as impressive now as they did earlier, but I do want to suggest that this could get really, really active, hectic over the next hour or so. You see that area shaded in red. All right, everybody's in the severe thunderstorm watch, okay? That's I guess it's a light orange color that you see there. So all the counties within the Philadelphia television market, they're all a part of the severe thunderstorm watch. It's up until 9. Now, if you look at the area shaded in red, that lightish red on top of the severe thunderstorm watch, that's the mesoscale discussion. Okay, that was also issued by the Storm Prediction Center. This is what they're expecting. Now, the watch was already issued, okay? But take a look at the meso discussion here. Look at the little box. There's two things they're concerned about. One, winds 55 to 70 miles per hour. And then two, hail 1.25 inches in diameter. And if memory serves me right, I believe it's either I think it's golf ball size hail. Let me pull up a golf chart here, and we'll show you how big the sizes are. I mean, that's hail size chart. That's pretty big hail right there. So let's see. It looks like 1.25 inches is somewhere between. It's somewhere between quarter size and ping pong ball size. That's a pretty good size hailstone. Okay, so that is what they are concerned about in the area, again, shaded right about here. Actually, you can see it right there. Let me get my cursor on my telestrator. Right here. Okay, that's the area right there. This location right here. That's what they're worried about. Okay, in that area. So you can see things. We don't even have really any warnings anymore. We just have, all we have is that one cell up by Allentown, and that's it for the Philadelphia television market. But again, things are going to get a little more hectic here, according to the Storm Prediction Center, over the next hour or two. Otherwise, it's very, very muggy, okay? Extremely muggy. It's very, very hot. Temperatures topped out in the 90s yet again. And honestly, there's no break at all whatsoever from the 90s. What? You finished your 2 pasta. Come here and say hi to everybody.
Already.
Already? Do you want more?
Oh.
Do you want some more? I got more.
Yeah.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to put some more tube pasta, which is also known as rigatoni, in her bowl. I'll be right back. But
It's a blue color.
yes, it's a blue color bowl. What I want to focus in, if you look towards the bottom of your screen, I want to focus on that area of thunderstorms popping around the Coreyville area there, Lancaster County, Southern Chester County. I'll be back in 2 seconds. That's what we're going to talk about, because that's the area that could get pretty dicey here in a few minutes. In about an hour, excuse me. All right, so I'm back. So this is the area right here that I really want you to pay close attention to, right here. All right, this line. Now this actually developed out ahead of a boundary. All right, an outflow boundary. And actually, if I expand this view a little bit, you might be, there it is, right there. Boom, see it? Look at that. See this thing right here? That's the outflow boundary. You got to watch these things, okay? Because what an outflow boundary is, if you think about the dynamics of the whole thing and how it all works, right? You're sitting on the porch. By the way, let me fix my hat. You're sitting on the porch, right? And at least this is what I used to love doing when I was a kid. You hear the thunder, and you've heard this story before, but this is what I love to do. You're sitting on the porch, right? And you hear the storm is coming. It's in the distance. The horizon turns black. You can hear the thunder in the distance, and you're just watching that dark cloud deck, which is right above the horizon, get closer and closer and closer, right? And then all of a sudden, you feel that cool, awesome rush of air, that refreshing, cool air that you've been wishing for like hours because it's so incredibly hot. That is the gust front, okay? That is exactly what we have here. That's what's happening, all right? This gust front has raced. You see the thunderstorms that were here, okay? The boundary is now all the way out here, okay? And so what happens is that boundary, it's cool air. Cooler air is heavier, it's dense. It undercuts the warm, soupy air, forces it to rise. And that's how we get even more thunderstorms developing here. They've all developed on that boundary. And sometimes those thunderstorms can get very, very violent on that boundary. So we're going to have to watch the wind speeds out here. I haven't seen anything crazy just yet. As a matter of fact, as we flip it over here, let's go over to the velocity mode. And we can actually see, I can show you how strong these winds are. All right, let me put my cursor on. And right now, we don't have anything crazy at all. All right, nothing. Nothing too crazy. Now, let's see. Okay, Paigey, I'll be right there, honey. Okay, this is what they're worried about in this area. Again, it's the 60-mile-an-hour winds, but I don't have anything crazy here at all. Nothing. All right? But again, we'll have to watch this area because these boundaries right here, okay, this is where things could get going. All right, so let me put that back in motion. But that's surprising. Actually, those wind speeds are even a lot lower than I thought they were going to be. Let me see if we have any special weather statements that were issued by the National Weather Service right now on that area. I mean, there was, I am floored. There's no wind at all coming out of that. I thought there would be at least something. I mean, you saw what, 15, 20 miles per hour tops? All right, so there was a statement that was issued. Okay, there was a statement that was issued right here. All right, for that cell. And the statement is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail, but it looks like the it looks like the warning was discontinued. All right, so right now, look, this is nice. Looks like everything's just kind of moseying along here, pushing from west to east, and just a couple of thunderstorms. That's about it with some drenching downpours. We do have quite a few lightning strikes out there in between Coreyville and Kennett Square, but that doesn't make a storm severe. What makes the storm severe, there's three things, all right, that'll make a storm severe. One is obviously if it has a tornado, okay? 2, hail an inch in diameter or greater. Or 3, winds up to, well, technically 58 miles per hour, but the National Weather Service never puts that on their warnings. It's either 60 or higher. So that's the general idea. Those are the 3 things, the criteria that needs to be met in order for the National Weather Service to pop a warning. Right now, we don't have that anywhere. As a matter of fact, that one big blob, if you're just now tuning in, of red, lower left-hand part of your screen, there's nothing there. Nothing there at all. There's no wind. It's just a big drenching downpour. All right, which is good. That's good. In a perfect world, that's kind of what we want right now. Let's just let this blow through. You know, I got to be honest. This might be, there's, the way this is shaping up right now, this is, if you're going to that Phillies game, 6:40, it's Chase Utley night, my gosh, this could be just absolutely incredible because think about this. All of this is going to blow through probably, it's almost 5. Let's say this all blows through Philadelphia by 6:30. It's an hour and a half. That means we've got an hour and a half to 2 hours to get this thing through. We should. It's not that far away. So what will happen is this will blow through. It'll stabilize the atmosphere, so you're likely not going to see anything behind it, and two, it cools the temperatures down. So, I mean, this might end up being, I mean, look at the numbers right there by Lancaster. It's only 72 degrees right now in Lancaster. So, I mean, obviously it's rain cooled, but, you'll bounce back up to 80, 82. But, I mean, that's a lot better than 90, right? It might actually be a really nice night to go to Citizens Bank Park for some baseball. So this is actually, the timing on this is perfect. Let's see. Kevin is saying, I'm going to a no air conditioning call. Will I be okay to beat the storm in Glassboro? Well, it depends where you're going from and what time. You haven't told me either of those. So that line, I mean, whether or not this thing turns severe as it approaches South Jersey, that remains to be seen. But you can see, I mean, I can look out my window and the skies are turning dark. So I'm assuming I'm already starting to see the cloud tops from that storm in between Kennett Square and Quarryville. But that's going to be marching east. At some point, Kevin, if you're listening to me right now, type in, I'll be there. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. If you're going in it, what do you mean you're going to a no air conditioning call? Oh, please tell me that. Does that mean you're going to go into a room or whatever, an office that doesn't have any air conditioning? If you are, oh man, I feel so bad for you, my friend. Lois says, rain, thunderstorms, flash flooding in Allentown. Yeah, big thunderstorms up there. Laurel says, I'm on the river near Easton. What are we looking at? Well, you still got big weather up there, okay? Matter of fact, let's go up there. Allentown in the Easton area. Here it is. All right, now the thunderstorm threat, the severe thunderstorm threat has passed Easton, okay? It's to your southeast now. It's here in Warren County, okay? It's up here. That's a severe threat, even though the warnings are still kind of, they're still a little bit farther to the southwest. Quakertown, let's just get the big things out of the way. Quakertown, you're not in a warning right now. Neither is Macungie, Emmaus, or Allentown. Easton, you are. However, the thunderstorms that put you guys in a warning are in the areas that's circled, all right? And that's going this way. So Easton, I'm going to give you the all clear as far as severe weather is concerned. However, there is still a lot of lightning out there, so be careful. I got to get a couple candy corns for Paigey. I'll be right back. You want some candy corn? How many do you want?
As many as you get me, but not all of them.
Okay. How about we'll get you 4 or 5.
Oh, wait, but do you have any pumpkin candy back?
No pumpkin.
Well, there's some candy corns, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you 2 yellow and 2 red. All right, I'm back. So again, it's the area there shaded, or the area that's circled. That's where we have the chance of seeing severe weather right now with this warning. The eastern area is not involved in the. They're technically a part of the warning, but again, the severe storm part of this is way southeast of you guys and moving away. So again, I'm giving Easton the all clear as far as severe weather is concerned, but stay indoors for now because of all the cloud-to-ground lightning strikes out there. Let's go farther to the southwest, okay? And one of the other things that we can do is we can put this in 5-panel mode. Look at the screen off to the right-hand part of your screen. I was going to say off to the east. If you look towards the right-hand part of your screen, this is everything that you'll look at when you're tracking heavy, severe thunderstorms, okay? I've got my velocity mode, my correlation coefficient mode. The first 2 on the right, those are for tracking tornadoes. And then right here on the bottom, that is storm total, okay? You know what? You know what I just realized? Let's do this. Bear with me 1 second. Let's go back over to reflectivity mode. There it is. I have to put this back into the Fort Dix site. All right. There we go. Okay, that is much, much better. All right, there we go. Now let's do this and try it again. Now you can see the heavy drenching downpours. And so we don't have any, wow. Boy, look at that stuff up by Stroudsburg. Boy, that's a lot of rain there. All right, let's some of the Doppler radar. So we're north. Is Bangor? Bangor is still Northampton County, isn't it? It's right there on the little. Yeah, because Blairstown. That's where when you get up into Blairstown, Blair Academy, and up and through there. That's New Jersey. I believe that's Warren County. That's actually where the original. I've mentioned this before. That's the area where the original Friday the 13th movie back in 1980 was filmed, and that camp where they filmed that is still there. It's called Camp Nobiboku or something. It's got this weird name, but it was neat because if you look at, I don't know if you're a big horror, like if you like horror films or anything like that, but where Friday the 13th Part 2 was filmed, that was torn down and demolished. Same thing with 3 and 4. I don't even know anything about the other movies, but after they're all ridiculous, right? But at least the first 2, there was some kind of realization to it, and you're talking about a guy who turns psycho and starts slashing everybody. I mean, there is some kind of realness to that, but then it got stupid when you got to 3, 4, 5, and 6. But anyway, so out of all those movies, the original Friday the 13th, where that film was shot, that's still there. The whole camp is still there. It's up there near Blairstown. It's really, really neat. I didn't realize that was in my home state of Jersey. All right, so you have Bangor is still Northampton County, yes. Nazareth. Look, there wasn't much here, but you can see, hold on, Murph. You can see the drenching downpours. Okay? All right, let's go a little bit farther to the south. All right. There they go. They finally issued a warning. Man, I didn't see a lot of wind. Let me see. Maybe we can go this time and see. All right, let's see. Here's velocity mode. Oh. Okay, that definitely looks better. Well, that didn't take long, did it? All right, now what you're looking at here, remember, red is away from the radar site and green is towards. So it does appear as if we've got some rotation here. Okay, now we're going to have to watch this. We're absolutely going to have to watch this now, okay? The winds weren't overly strong, though, and I'm still not seeing anything too terribly strong. But what are they saying? 60-mile-an-hour winds, okay? I don't see... Here's your biggest winds right here. Yeah, that's more like it. Pagey, why is Murphy barking? All right, so they're saying at 4:55 p.m., severe thunderstorm was located over West Grove, or 10 miles northwest of Newark, moving east at 20. All right, it's radar indicated. They're concerned about damage to roofs, siding, trees, and power lines. Here's a look at some of the communities here that are under the warning. Wilmington, Newark, Westchester, Coatesville, Westtown, Carneys Point, Kennett Square, Penns Grove, West Grove, Parksburg, Newport, Stanton, Arden, Cheney, North Star, Tallyville, Elm, and Marshallton. All right. Let's see if I can put a... so moving 20. Should be able to drag this. Okay. Let me put that in motion for you. I'll be right back. Murphy's going crazy. I've got to figure out why he's barking. Why is Murphy barking, Paige? What? What? Okay. All right, here we go. Trying my best here. I'm juggling feeding Pagey dinner, trying to get Murphy to settle down, and I'm trying to do this all at the same time. Yeah, it's a little hectic for me right now. Let's go over to the a little hectic for me. All right, so that's the severe thunderstorm warning. I have to tell you, I don't see severe winds in it right now. I see decent winds up to potentially 45, but I didn't see anything that was 60. Not yet. Regardless, there's a severe thunderstorm warning up for the areas that you see highlighted there in yellow. So let's do the right thing here. Let's all seek shelter, okay? And why don't we do this? If you're in Kennett Square, if you're in Chadds Ford, if you're in Hockessin, Westchester, those areas, take a quick picture, send it to me. Let me see what you got going on. You can see leave it in the comments section in the chat here, and let me see what's going on. But be safe, okay? I don't want you outside and trying to snap a picture, because in a severe thunderstorm warning, seriously, everybody should be indoors. And I think what's happening, I think this is going to be another case where the National Weather Service is measuring some pretty good winds just off the deck, okay? And that wind, because remember we were talking about this the other day, CAPE, Convective Available Potential Energy. That's what CAPE stands for. You only need about 800 or so to have enough energy to turn storms severe. Well, we were having numbers between 2,500 and 4,000 today. They were way above what was needed for severe thunderstorms. So you get all this heat energy, all right? And that energy in a very humid, unstable environment like this can be transported vigorously down to the surface, okay? So a lot of times, if the National Weather Service sees that wind just off the deck, maybe a few thousand feet up, they've got to pop the warning. Even if it's not windy right now in your neighborhood and you're under that warning, they've got to pop the warning, because there is that wind that is severe, but it's just not at surface yet. Whether or not it gets forced down to the surface, that remains to be seen. But you got to pop the warning. You got to get everybody indoors. You got to make sure everyone's safe. All right. So Linda says thunder and pouring in Newtown. All right. Let's see. Nancy says, thank you. You're doing a great job juggling it all. I'm trying my best. I'm sorry. Hopefully the information that I'm spitting out here sounds, hopefully you can understand. I know my mind's going in 5 different directions right now. Okay. So, yeah, with the, I'm looking at someone, Liz, saying hello, and Lois saying cool or nice. Yeah, we might be able to time this out just right so that Phillies game is very enjoyable this evening, which, the way the day first started, right? For me to even say that, you're like, yeah, right, Chris, you've lost your mind. But, yeah, this we might end up, everything might end up just playing out just right, timing everything out just right, so that this line of thunderstorms pushes east, cools everything down, and then the game starts. And that'll be really, really nice. By the way, we're playing the Toronto Blue Jays. I was looking at the Phillies schedule, and I think we were talking about this before. I mean, hold on, are the Nationals? No. Let me see. We just got done with the Nationals. They're 56 and 61. Miami's 58 and 58. St. Louis Cardinals are 57 and 58. We don't play a team with an above 500 record, I don't think, for the rest of the season. So, I mean, and look, it's only, maybe I missed it. I could have missed something. But when I was looking at the Phillies schedule, I was like, holy smokes. And, obviously we've played SCH. Obviously we've played a pretty difficult schedule up to this point. We've had some really difficult games, right, already. A lot of Dodgers and Cubs. And, yeah, look at this. Wow. So we don't play a team right now. We don't play a team with a winning record at all the rest of this month. It's only the 7th. Okay. No, my statement was incorrect. We don't play a team with a winning record for the rest of the month. When we get into September, that'll change when the Braves come to town on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then that is a nasty stretch. Oh my gosh. You guys ready for this? All right, so the rest of this month, all right, easy peasy lemon squeezy. We don't play a team with a winning record the rest of this month. And hopefully we can get as many wins as possible, because listen to this. As we open up the month of September, the 31st of August, the Diamondbacks. The 1st of August, the Diamondbacks. And the 2nd of August, the Diamondbacks. Arizona right now has a record of, they're not having one of their normally, actually they're not that bad either. They're 61 and 55. But then watch this. Then it's the Braves, on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. The Astros on the 8th, 9th, 10th. The Braves on the 11th, 12th, 13th. That is a brutal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is a brutal 14-game stretch in September. So hopefully we get as many wins as possible during the easy part of the schedule, because things are going to get nasty during the month of September. Yes, honey?
There's kind of another fly in here.
There's another fly in here? Come here. Come here. Sit with Daddy. Okay. There's another fly in here. You know why? Do you know why we have so many flies in here, Paige?
Why?
Because you leave the door open. So you go outside and you don't know how to shut the door. You can't shut the door, so you leave the door open, and then all the flies come in. And then Daddy has to get the fly swapper, and he has to kill all the flies. So how many flies are in here right now?
One.
One fly. Okay. One fly.
I'm gonna get it.
I'm not letting you down. Nope, nope. I'm holding you forever. You're never leaving the house again. You're going to be with your daddy forever and ever. Amen.
Then when you go outside, I'm going out.
Okay, fine. Now I have Murphy down here. Music Fest, temporary. Yeah, you have to shut it down. Absolutely. You know what? Let me go up into the Lehigh Valley. You have to shut it down. It's a mess up here right now. You got too much lightning. You've had huge downpours. All right, and geez, these flash flood warnings. Let's see, what are they saying here? All right, they're saying between 1.5 and 2 inches of rain has fallen in this area. Is anybody reporting? If anyone's listening to me right now in the Lehigh Valley, does anybody see any flooding right now? All right, here's a look at some of the rain that's fallen. Doppler radar estimates are close to 2 inches. We are in Allentown. It's only up to an inch. Okay. Here's the flash flood warning right here. So we're out near New Tripoli. So if you're in the New Tripoli area, Doppler radar estimates are close to 2 inches, maybe a little bit higher around U.S. Highway 309. And then Schnecksville, same thing. All right, just west of the northeast extension, about 1 to 2. Now, the terrain's a little different here. It's rocky, obviously, right? A lot of mountains. So it's not going to take nearly as much rain here as it would closer to Philly or even South Jersey to flood. All right, but just curious, is anyone seeing any flooding there? We also, again, have this area near Bangor. This is where the highest totals have been, between 3 and 4 inches, or 2 and 4, I guess I should say. But everybody else, it's not bad. We have this here, which kind of surprised me. I mean, only 1 to 2.5 near Bethel, but again, the terrain obviously is playing into this because of the mountains and the hills out and through here. All right, here's Leesport. There's Fleetwood. Doesn't look like Fleetwood is in any warnings right now. It looks like the flood warning is just north of Fleetwood, but I mean, Blandon's in the flood warning. I would take them out. Kutztown is in the flood warning. I don't know if they need to be in it either. Virginiaville, absolutely, I'd put them in it. Let's see. Lenhartsville, yeah, I'd put them in it too. You're right in the thick of it. Yeah, see, like some of these areas here, like for example, if you're listening to me right now and you're in, is it Robesonia? You have no business being in a flood warning right now. None. Same thing with Wilmsdorf and North Heidelberg. Hardly any rain has fallen here. It looks like maybe 1/10 of an inch. Burnville, you shouldn't be in the flood warning. I wouldn't worry about it. Now this area here, Rayersburg, I don't know how to pronounce it, just south of Interstate 78, Strausstown, they've picked up between 1 and 2.5 inches of rain. All right, so we're good here for now. Now, there could be some runoff. All right, we'll have to watch the runoff, which may be a reason why some of these communities here are under the flash flood warning. But as far as the rain that has fallen, that heavy stuff is up here. Okay? All right, let's see. And then we go, oh, wow. Look at this rain here by Lancaster. Now, that definitely warrants a flood warning. Let's take a look at that. By Columbia, that's 3 to 4 inches. Wow, that's a lot of rain. right there on U.S. Highway 30 between Hallam, and I don't even know how to pronounce that town, just west of Lancaster, Robertstown. There's 3 to 4 inches of rain. That's a lot of rain. All right, definitely watch for some flooding there. Remember the deal with flooding. All right, turn around, don't drown. Everybody knows that saying by now. If you encounter flooded roads, especially in the middle of nowhere, when you start getting out there in Lancaster County, there's land forever, for as far as the eye can see, right? It's obviously not a very urban area. You don't know how high the water is on the road. You don't know the condition of the road underneath the water. All right, so just there's a lot of different ways that you can go to get to the destination you're traveling. So just, turn around, find another way to get there, and let's all be safe today. Remember barricades, and I say this all the time. The barricades we used to have this happen in Florida all the time. We'd put well, I didn't, but they'd put barricades up for flooded roads, and people would drive through it. It just was almost like the barricade wasn't even there. And they would just drive right through it. And I'm thinking to myself, because some of it, I remember the one time it happened, I was on the air, and we took the camera live. And we're watching this knucklehead drive through the barricade. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, the barricade, you can see the flooded road. And the guy just drives right through the barricade. He just goes over the road. And I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I didn't hear of any fatalities or anything. So I'm assuming he was safe. But, just honestly, it's just being a knucklehead. All right, let's go back over the reflectivity. We got 1 cell right now. Kennett Square, Land of the Mushroom. You are in the heart of this severe thunderstorm warning. Westchester, Wilmington, you're in it too. You know what? Let me go over to, let's do this.
I spilled water by accident.
You spilled water by accident?
I was trying to help Wolfie get food under his food thing.
Okay.
And I did it, but the water spilled when I was trying to put it back. Because he was scratching it forwards.
Okay.
I don't know why he just didn't bark for help.
I don't either. But is he okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's go over to some of the cameras here in Delaware. Let's see what the sky looks like.
Whoa.
This is starting to get pretty close now. Let's see what this one. What? No. Let's see. This is the camera right here. Looks a little dark out there. So that's by Hockessin there in Newcastle County in Delaware. You can see just above the horizon. Now they're moving the camera around, but you can see just above the horizon it's getting pretty dark. Little breezy too. The storm is still off to the west. All right, but it is getting dark. It is definitely getting dark. All right, so that way we're looking, I believe, is east. And that's the direction right there. See above the tree line? See how dark it's starting to get? So that's what it looks like here as the storm is approaching from the west. Yeah, trees are blowing. Definitely got some wind there. I still can't get over, I'm looking at this right now, I still can't get over what the Phillies schedule looks like in September. Whew. Man, that's brutal. That is brutal. And then, temporarily out. Let's see if we got anything else down there in Delaware. All right, here's this one right here. And then we finish up the season, 3 games against the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, the only good thing, oh my gosh, we got 3 against the Brewers first. September's brutal. September's a brutal month for the Phillies. Oh, this is pretty neat. You see this? Look towards the right. All right, you can see the dark clouds approaching. There it is. Yeah, that's the storm coming. That's a brutal schedule. That is a brutal Phillies schedule. September is an awful month for the Phillies. Hopefully they can get as many wins as possible this month. All right, but there it is right there. It's a pretty dark skyline. Paige, are you okay? Paige?
What?
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what the sky looks like. All right, that's what it looks like right now. Let's see if we can go back over to the radar full. You know, what we'll do here is we'll kind of zoom in. So those cameras were coming from New... Yeah, boy, that thing's closing in quick now.
There's the fly. Yeah.
Another fly in here? Okay, leave them alone.
It's the same fly.
It's the same fly. You got the fly swapper?
Mommy, this one's the fly.
All right, so we got a little bit. You see this right here? We do have a little bit of rotation. We had it. You see right there? All right, remember, the radar site is out here, okay? It's to the, well, it's, this map isn't to scale. The radar site is in Fort Dix, but I'm zoomed in tight. So let's assume Fort Dix is here, okay? Outbound, inbound winds, okay? So that's your rotation, okay? That's what it looks like from the radar site, okay? That's what it looks like. But notice what happens. It's very, very broad. Okay, that's why there's no warnings popped. But there is a little bit of spin out there. All right, here's a look at it again. See, we had a little bit of spin there, but it was too broad. It wasn't tight enough. But it looks like we do have winds. Again, they're suggesting just off the deck. So I would say probably somewhere, looking at where they've popped this warning, I would say somewhere in here. All right, let's say from London Grove to West Grove, crossing right over Route 1, heading into Kennett Square, land of the mushroom, coming out of Oxford. This is probably where the worst part of the storm is. We got another part here that looks pretty beefy too, heading out of Franklin. All right, crossing over the state line into Delaware. Looks like Pike Creek Valley and Hockessin. You guys are right in the thick of this, or will be soon. Okay? So that's what we're watching. And again, if I flip it back over to the cameras, let me see if I can go back over here. So this would be the one right here. Let's see. Oh, it's getting dark. Wow. It's getting really dark. Now, I bet you if the camera pans to the west, you're going to see nothing but nighttime black because of that dark sky. We are just... Come here, bud. What's the matter? Come here. We are just east right now of the severe storm. That's where this camera is. All right, it's just east. There we go. We're going to start to move the camera position here. Maybe we can get it pointing west and see what the sky looks like. Come here, buddy. Come here, bud. You okay? All right, we're going to get you fixed up. You want to go outside? You want to go outside? All right. Let's see where they put this camera. I'll be right back. I'm going to let Murphy outside for a second. Oh, what is the camera getting hung up? Darn it. Let's see what else we got over here. All right, how about this one right here? No. This was the Pike Creek one. All right. Yeah, it looks really, really dark there. Pike Creek. It's right on top of you. Yeah, Hockessin's about to get hit pretty hard too. Let's see, I'm trying to find a camera that would look best through all of this. All right, there's the Hockessin one right here. There's Pike Creek. Yeah, the sky's pretty dark. The sky's pretty dark. No rain just yet. No rain just yet. Let me go over to the let's go over to the National Weather Service and see what's going on elsewhere. All right, so at the present time, we have I guess technically we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings in the Philadelphia television market. There's one cell near Trenton. All right, so it's extreme lower Bucks County, which includes Levittown, Ben Salem, heading northeastward into a large part of Mercer, actually all of Mercer County, under severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. Then we have another severe thunderstorm warning in southern Chester County, the extreme northern part of Newcastle County, and there's a little sliver of western Delco that's in that one. That's also for 60-mile-an-hour winds. And then the last one is up here in northern Bucks County. It looks like it's just east of the Northeast Extension. Also winds up to 60 miles per hour. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flash flood warnings. They are one for Lancaster County, northern Lancaster County, one for northern Berks County, one for northern Lehigh County, one for northern Bucks County, one for the Poconos, 2 for the Poconos. Okay, everything's kind of shifting to the east pretty quickly. There's the rain starting to come down now. Looks like the storm's finally getting into the Hockessin area. Let's see. Look towards the upper left. Oh, they keep moving the camera on me. I was going to say, you could see the trees starting to bend over. Go back to that camera view, and we're going to watch this rain come down. All right, it's going to pour. All right, so I'm assuming that way is east. We're looking east because the sky looks a lot brighter there. Let's go back west. Yeah, see, all right, see it right there in the upper left corner? See that foggy area? That's the heavy rain coming. When that gets over you, it's going to be a complete downpour, monsoon city you're not going to be able to see. So let's see. Let's let it go through again and see whether or not we can get the downpour pushing through. Yeah, there it is. Getting closer, right? It's getting closer. Yeah, rain's coming down good now. I just want to see the wind. I want to see what happens with this wind. Yeah. All right, if you're just now tuning in, we've been doing a little severe weather coverage here this afternoon. We've had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings pretty close to Philadelphia. We've had numerous flash flood warnings up throughout the Philadelphia area. A mini squall line has kind of developed, although it's only the northern end that's warned at this point. But we do have Doppler radar indicated winds potentially up to 60 miles per hour. And there's also been a little bit of hail in some of these too. And obviously, as you can see in front of you, huge downpours. This is the camera. We're looking at Del Dot. This camera here is in northern Newcastle County. It's around Pike Creek. Now, this is a camera where they tilt, they continue, they kind of show you every direction here, north, south, east, west. And you can see as this heavy rain here, this heavy thunderstorm coming out of Chester County crosses over the county line, you can see the rain getting heavier and heavier, conditions getting worse and worse, and the visibility starting to go down. So obviously this is going to be impacting traffic. We are now in the heart of the evening commute. We don't have anything in Philadelphia at the moment, which is good, but other locations, it's pretty miserable looking out there right now. Big fat raindrops. I was looking at this here on some of the other dual pole products. These are big fat raindrops coming down too, the kind that hit the windshield and at times can be just deafening. You ever get into a thunderstorm and the rain is hitting the windshield so hard that it's just like, you're like, whoa, it's just deafening at times? That's probably what you got going on here. All right, big fat raindrops. All right, so there is, I hate when it does that. It